Good day, everybody. Guess where we are? We're on the aisle with Rona Mann at the Trinity Repertory Company. Actually, we're not at Trinity Rep, but I want you to imagine you are. Today, we are going to talk about a show with a strange name. I had to keep looking at the tickets to say, what is it I'm going to? Cold War Choir Practice. Now, think about that. Cold War. Most of us who are of a certain age remember the Cold War. Choir practice? That will definitely get attention. Cold War choir practice. This show was having a world premiere here. It was actually, well, it was written and put together in Syracuse, New York. I had to look that up because from the very beginning, and I wrote this in my notes, it's a lot. There is so much going on one stage at Trinity Rep in the 1 hour and 45 minutes, no intermission, that you just don't know where to look first. And when I was sitting and we started and I looked up, because there is a screen over the stage on the back. And I looked and it said Syracuse, New York. And that got my attention because I spent 19 years of my life in Syracuse, New York. So I'm trying to figure out, what does this have to do with Syracuse? Saw the entire show, went home and said, what did this have to do with Syracuse? So I looked it up, and it was written and put together in Syracuse, New York. That's why they just happened to pick that. It wasn't any particular reason why, other than the family in the show lives in Syracuse, New York. It is, number one, loud. When you first come in, there is a guy in the back, like a DJ, running a sound system, and he's playing rock music over and over. If you're like me, I always like to be there early when they open the house. I like to sit down. I like to read the program. I like to check out the people, the audience. And my head was coming off after about 15 minutes because it was so loud. And I thought, why don't the ushers tell them to pot it down a little bit? And it did get a little softer. But after seeing the show, I figured that this was part of it. They wanted us to get used to this because this show, in a way, and I don't want to keep you from it, it was almost an attempt at radicalization and loud noise and big things happening. Well, it's 1987 in Syracuse, New York. And it centers around a Black family. And the protagonist of the play is a 10-year-old named Meek. She is a great little girl, and she actually was not portrayed by a little girl. She was portrayed by an actress named Lucia Aramu, who is a student of the Trinity Brown program, the conservatory that they have for theater students. She is probably in her 20s, but you believe almost instantly that she's 10 years old. She is absolutely great. She makes you laugh. She makes you wonder. She makes you love her. She is a terrific actress, and I would say you're going to see her again on this stage, or probably even a larger stage as she goes on in a career, because she was great. So this 10-year-old comes out and tells you early on that it's almost Christmas time and it's cold and snowy in Syracuse. I can attest to that. 19 years? Oh, yeah. Anyway, she tells you what she wants for Christmas. She wants a pound puppy. They were very big in 1987. She wants a speak and spell. They were big in 1987. They kind of looked like those little mini adding machines in plastic, and it would teach kids how to speak and how to spell. So she wants a pound puppy, she wants a speak and spell, and she wants a nuclear radiation detector. What every kid wants. Why? She's building a fallout shelter. She's 10, building a fallout shelter. Then out comes the chorus. Well, actually, or the choir. They come out right in the beginning. These are 3 and sometimes 4 females with some of the most magnificent voices you ever heard. Alto, mezzo, soprano, beautiful voices, beautiful harmony. And they have the role like a Greek chorus. They're adding stuff to this all the time. And again, it's a lot. So the chorus comes out and they give our little friend Meek a present. They give her a present that she is going to get a pen pal. And she is thrilled to get a pen pal. And the pen pal is from the Soviet Union. So she writes to her pen pal, "Dear Soviet pen pal, war is imminent. How are you today? Did you know the voice of a child has the power to stop a nuclear attack?" Out of the mouths of babes. At least it was in Cold War choir practice. So now you're wondering, nuclear. You hear Ronald Reagan's voice throughout, his actual voice. In her family, in Meek's family, is her grandmother, Puddin, whom she lives with, who seems to be the one to write everything. She always has the right answers, the right reaction. She is the voice of right. And played by Jackie Davis, one of Trinity's best. I've seen Davis in so many roles. The one I remember that I loved her in a couple of years ago was in Fences. She positively inhabits the role she's in, and you never know she's quote unquote acting. She's just so real, so good. There is that choir that keeps coming in and out. And when things get very hard and serious in 1987 with Reagan, with Gorbachev, the choir now goes from singing very sweetly to harder stuff. All I could think about was the Nazi in Cabaret who sings "Tomorrow Belongs to Me." It's that kind of feeling. The male actors, you have Matthew Myrick as Smooch. Smooch is Meek's father, and he is the owner of the family roller rink. And this is great. Their special effects in this show are great. They do a couple of scenes in the roller rink, and people are on chairs that have casters, like I'm on right now. And that's what they do. They are wearing boots, and they are using the heels of their boots to roll around, and they're very good at it. They've been choreographed. They do this in circles and in and out, so you actually think they are roller skating. Uh, Matthew Myrick was wonderful. He did a wonderful job playing his brother, who is also President Reagan's Deputy National Security Advisor, was one of my absolute Trinity favorites, and I make no bones about it every time he's in anything. Tavon Gamble. I have seen him dressed as, oh, I can't remember if it's Christmas Past. It's one of those three Christmas. It's either Christmas Past or Present in Christmas Carol, and he's dressed as a woman in a dress. I've seen him in Shakespeare. I've seen him do everything silly. In this, he's very buttoned down, tie, vest, in the three-piece suit, and he's so great to watch. About 45 minutes in, Grandma Puddin' has a line that she gives to another character, and I actually whipped my pen out and in the dark wrote it inside my program. The line was, "You got to tell me what the hell is going on here," because that's how I felt. I really commiserated because this moves. This show does move, and it moves fast. You've got the choir singing to you. You've got that screen up above, and now you've got puppets. You have puppets that are talking to each other, that are simulating action below. And that happens a few times. So it's just endless. The double entendres, the special effects. But it's excellent. And there is Russian spoken at times and sung at times, for which we thank Kurt Columbus, the head of the Trinity Rep, because he spent a long time in Russia and became very fluent in the language. I remember when he first came to Trinity 20 years ago, they said he had translated plays from Russian to English and English to Russian. Now that's got to take some, because that is quite the language. So hats off to him. And he worked with these actors. He has a credit in here as being a dialect coach. He worked with them a lot, because when they do use the Russian dialect, which is not all the time, or when they speak in Russian, which is not all the time, it's just spot on. So hats off to him. Well, I'm trying to approach this. I cannot tell you specifically, because I would be giving away the denouement, the real climax of the show. I just told producer du jour over there, Ben, what they do towards the end, and it's tough. It's very tough. Um, it's very loud. It's very special. I've never seen, in all the years I've been going to theater, both on Broadway and 39 years of theater here in Rhode Island, I've never seen a special effect that could match what they do at the end. However, I am going to call out Trinity for not letting the audience have some kind of warning. And I know I will hear from the Trinity people, because after it occurred and I saw audience reaction and my own reaction, which was probably jumping about 2 feet in the air, I said, on my way out, I got to look. I must have missed some signs somewhere. Well, on the way out, what I saw was the door that you came in after you gave them your ticket and went through the lobby. They had a piece of paper about this size typed and scotch taped to the door. It wasn't real large type, and I don't know if there were others around. I didn't see any other signs in the lobby, and there should have been. Because of a lot of things, because there are people who can be disturbed by certain special effects, because of the world we are living in right now. because of many things. Do I think they should not have had the special effect? No, because it was absolutely incredible. And there's something people would talk about. But there should have been a bit more of a warning, and I will stand by that. If something you relish when you go to theater is a lot, you're going to love Cold War choir practice because something's going on all the time. Uh, the undeniable thing is when you're talking Trinity rep, they always push the envelope, they always go way outside the box, and they always have first rate acting. And boy, do you have first rate acting here. So if you want an experience that you have never had in theater in this state, and maybe anywhere in New England or even in New York, go see Cold War choir practice. It is on through October 5th. I don't know if they have a sensory uh, performance. They should. They usually do. I had sent an email ahead of time, and before we went into recording, I had not gotten an answer. Perhaps this can be added later on. But there's the show. You've got till October 5th. And next up will be part 2 of Angels in America from the GAM Theater. That's in a couple of weeks when you'll be once again on the aisle with me. I'm Rona Mann.